everybody. Welcome to the Triumphant Radio Show here at 108 Praise Radio, where we are always voicing the gospel. I'm your host, Sharita Lovelace, and I am once again super excited to be with you on this Monday night. Well, it's nighttime if you're on the eastern side, but it's probably a different time if you are somewhere else like on the East Coast. But we are so happy you joined us tonight. We have a powerful and awesome show. So, whatever you're doing right now, kick your shoes off, go grab your tea. I'll admit I don't have my tea tonight. I had to get some hydration because it's going to be on fire tonight. It's going to be a great show, and we're happy you joined us. Hey, listen, go ahead and click share. Share to your friends. Share to pages. Invite people to join. Text and call them. And remember to keep this number on hand at 770-988-6461 so people can call in to the show. We want to see your comments, so go ahead and get on the Facebook page and type when you like something. Give us a like, a thumbs up, just whatever you have to do so that you can be a part. Because guess what? This is your show too. This is a journey that we are taking together. So again, I'm just happy for you to be here today, and I have an amazing guest tonight. OMG, some of you know him, some of you don't, but before we leave this platform today, you will know who this awesome guest is. So I'm so happy that he's here with me. But before we get into the depth of what we have to talk about, did you see the royal wedding?
Oh my God, yes.
Well, yes. Well, well, okay. So I'll admit I didn't get up to actually watch the wedding, but I saw clips of it later on during the day, and I just thought what a triumphant weekend it has been for people across America. I mean, it's just been such a big deal about the royal wedding. And so even just looking at what happened and how it crossed through cultural lines, and, my pastor was sharing different nuggets about how, it's really historical in more ways than we see of what happened this weekend. So truly, it's been a triumphant weekend. But it was amazing because what the Lord was showing me as I was just thinking about it, and this was after Saturday, going into Sunday, after a wedding, there's always something that takes place, right? And it's called what? A honeymoon.
Yeah.
If you're married after your wedding, you commit to those vows, you get witness, you declare that you're going to, love each other in sickness and in health till death do you part. And it's such a beautiful ceremony, and you're all, googly eyes and happy about it. And then you get excited because you go on this honeymoon. But it was so wonderful because the Lord was showing me that this weekend and this week that we're in right now, it's not just for married people. We are going into a honeymoon week. I just want you to, if you have pen and paper, write that down. Think about it in your mind. It is a honeymoon week. We have just experienced a vow that has taken place. We've experienced Pentecost Sunday yesterday. So much happened this weekend, and now we're at the honeymoon stage. Love it. But it's not just for married people. It's for single people too. And God was saying, you know what? I want to challenge you to fall deeper in love with me this week. I want to challenge you to just embrace who I am deeper and more. I want you to just not only see a royal wedding or see a wedding in the natural or celebrate, friends or family or graduates from this past weekend, but I want you to take a honeymoon now that it's all said and done. Isn't that beautiful? So it's not just for married people. It's for all of us that are single, that, really want to deepen our relationship with God. I just thought that was awesome, that after you commit, you take a honeymoon and you just love on God. And that's like our relationship with the Lord. Once we commit to God and once we become part of who he is and build relationship, that intimacy is what comes next. That vow, it deepens the relationship, and I was like, this is so awesome. So this week, I challenge you to fall in love again with God. Fall in love again and again and again. If you're married, guess what? That's even going to be a double dose of love for you, because not only are you following in love and strengthening your relationship with God and intimacy and that time to commune with him, but that is also reflective of what God's going to do in your natural relationship. Somebody better take that and believe it. 1 Peter 2:9 says that we are a chosen people. We're royal, so even though we saw this, it's who we are. Exactly. So we too can take part in remembering that we are royalty. that we have covenant with the Lord because of what He did for us. And now we're in a season of honeymoon where we get to just love on Him all week with that intimacy with Him. What's that intimacy? It's prayer. It's just spending time. It's worship. It's spending time with Him. You know, things that we put ahead of Him. God said, this week is my week. It's honeymoon week. So single women, single men, married couples, take a honeymoon this week. Reestablish, restore, reflect, and remember those vows and fall in love again. Ah, I love it.
Amen.
I love it.
Amen.
I love it. But that takes us to why we're here tonight. It is a triumphant weekend. It's a triumphant night. And there is a guest who is just triumphant in my heart. The none other, Jamarco Wimberly. Give me some thumbs up, some hearts or something online. Not you. See what I mean? This is my brother. I am honored to be in his life. He's been with me for years. He is truly a ride or die friend, but not just a friend. He's a minister of the gospel. He's a prophet. We both operate in the fivefold giftings. We both were mantled. And so we just have not only a lot of fun together, but we like to go and make transformation in different nations. We have traveled internationally in ministry. We have done creative arts together. We have done choreography and dance and word. If you have not heard this brother preach or prophesy, you will know how to find him by the end of this show to invite him to your church or to your event. Don't let the dress fool you. Don't let it fool you. So I thank God that God has given me such awesome unconditional friends in my life that not only accept me for who I am, all flawed and messed up, but can just really give you the truth and help you rebuild yourself back together. That's this brother right here. And so I'm happy to have him on the show today to show you and share with you about that triumphant life and living. You know, it's important to me that anybody that comes before this platform, that they are truly walking in what they talk and that they can be impactful in your life and in my life and those around. And this brother right here, I tell you, he is just very impactful in so many different ways. So I'm excited to have you, Jamarco.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor. It's an honor. So, let's get right into it because I know time is of the essence, but we want to first find out, without any of the titles, without any of what's happening the now. Back then, who is Jamarco Wimberly? I want them to hear from your mouth, not mine, where you're from and some of the trials that you've had to go through or you faced through the years.
Wow. First of all, I value our relationship. I just want to put that out there, let everybody know I value this relationship. This friend. Is 15 plus years strong. And so I just value that. Who Jamarco is, I'm still finding out.
That's good. That's good.
I'm still finding out. But long story short, I was raised in a little small country town, Twiggs County, right outside of Macon, Georgia. So, we have hogs, cows, and fatback and all of that. So,
yeah, I hear that.
So, I'm proud of the country. I'm a country boy to the heart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's who I am. My family is my heart. Some of the things that my family, my mom, dad, grandmother, they instilled that faith foundation in me or whatnot. So, and I just appreciate that because without the correct morals, foundation of faith, then a lot of the things that I've gone through in life, then I wouldn't have made it through it without that. One of the things that I'm reminded of, one of the things that my father used to tell me all the time is never forget who you are or where you come from.
That's right.
And so that statement alone helped me not to get so high in what others perceive me to be that don't know me.
That's good.
From where I'm from.
That's good.
It helps keep me grounded.
Humility. That's
exactly,
what that is.
Exactly. It helps me keep me grounded. It keeps me humble. And so I appreciate Joseph Wimberly. man, I
Shout out to
appreciate
Joseph Wimberly, Daddy.
I appreciate Daddy for that one because
Right.
he's he's quick to remind you, hey,
Yeah.
bro, I'll tear you back down.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how high you get, I'll tear you back down.
Right.
And so I just bless God for my family because they're like really the roots of who I am.
Right.
And really the roots of who I am. But some of the things that I've gone through in life, I mean, it's so much.
Right.
It's so much. Where to begin, I wouldn't even know where to
Yeah.
tell you. But my
Yeah.
salvation was, oh my God, I ran from it.
Wow.
I ran from salvation. I ran.
But your family was in church for the most part.
Yeah,
And did they
yeah.
make you go to church and you just kind of went? And
Well, actually, I mean, going to church wasn't a problem because I love going. I
Okay.
started singing in the choir at the age of 8 over in that. So all of that was, I enjoyed going to
Right.
church, but the church wasn't in me right there.
There you go.
So I
That's
mean,
powerful.
it wasn't in me. So going to church wasn't a problem, and I enjoyed going. But the Lord was doing some things, doing the work in me, and I'm
Right.
grateful for Grandma and Mama sending me to church,
Right.
even when she didn't go or when Daddy didn't go. I still
Right.
went, and so I appreciate all of that. So
Right.
I mean, a lot of people that see me now or that know me now, if I was to tell my story, like my drinking years
Right.
and
Come
all
on.
the years that I fought and just how I was before I got saved, prior
Right.
to me getting saved, a lot of
Right.
people like, oh, I cannot see you doing that.
Right.
I cannot see you doing just being drunk every weekend.
Right.
And
Right.
just, I mean, fighting all the time.
Right.
And it surprises people when I tell that story.
Right. Right.
So, what a wonderful change,
Right.
Tremaine Hawkins.
Right. Right.
What a wonderful change. So I mean, basically, I'm a family man. I
Right.
love my family. I'm a protector. I fight. I ride or die for mine.
Right.
So I mean,
Right.
that's who I am. But to the heart, I just love God. I'm just an humble guy that loves God. Just
That's beautiful. And you know what? One thing that caught my attention is the fact that so many of us, and we talk about this on here at the Triumphant Radio Show, because we want to show people how you can be in a place, but then you can become that can be your past, your history. You can move from that place. You can be healed from that place. You can be delivered. And so many people, and this is church folks too, it's everybody, they want to keep us in the place where they met us. They want to clothe us in garment in that place. They keep us in 19 whatever. They keep us there, and it is so difficult for them to see us past that place,
Right.
or that position. But the people that can say, I saw you then, but I see you now, it's those people that can see beyond who you're called to be. They see with the spiritual eye. They see with the eye of Christ. They see with the eye of the fruit of the Spirit. They see with the eye of love and joy, because they understand that everybody has a past. Everybody's been through something. But the key is how can we still look and value and cherish and honor people when they've moved past that stage?
Right.
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 And so I tell people, don't ever let them clothe you with your past. Don't ever
Right.
let them make you think that that's who you are, that's where you're supposed to be,
Right.
and that's where you'll stay, because that's when they're trying to put a plug in your destiny.
Right.
And I thank God for relationship. And we have families that, they took us to church, and we might not have been in church how we were
Right.
supposed to, or, the church in us, but we went to church.
Exactly.
But people prayed us through so that we could cultivate our lives, develop, and move from that place of, running the streets per se, into a new life. And yes, sometimes we've gone backwards, sometimes things have happened. But when you begin to study and understand your DNA, your
Yeah.
identity, and who you are, then you can walk confidently, and you won't take any clothing, garment, scarf, hat, shoe from anybody else, but from the crown that the Lord has given to us,
Right, exactly. Like one of the things that I could really say too about me coming into the Lord, it was more so of a live or die situation.
Look at that.
Because when I say that I ran from the Lord, like He showed me in the dream that, and I still remember it to this day. I got saved when I was 19, and I still remember to this day exactly what the dream was.
Wow.
And I knew what it meant.
Right.
But even in that, I still ran from Him, and He chased me.
Look at that.
He literally chased me. I had the dream in October of 2000,
Wow.
and I knew what it meant. I woke up and I knew what it meant, but it wasn't until February of 2001 when I actually surrendered.
Wow.
And in my surrenderance, it's like the Lord pushed me towards it.
Wow.
So it was like, dude, you don't have a choice.
Right.
You
Right.
you don't have a choice. Either
Yeah.
you're gonna do it or you're gonna die.
Right.
And it was actually a lot of people don't know that the week before I gave my life to the Lord, I had made up in my mind to commit suicide.
Amazing.
I
Wow.
made up in my mind to commit suicide, but it was just so happened that I ran into my childhood pastor, who was actually building a house around the corner that talked me out of it.
Right.
That it was God placed
Ooh,
them.
God put the angel in
and
your
I did not,
pathway.
and I didn't even know that they were there. But I just took a walk, didn't know how I was going to do it, or I just made up in my mind that I was going to do
Right.
it. And this was at 19 years old, and so. But I'm grateful for the Lord because
Right.
it was that moment that led me to this. Like, Lord,
Right.
this is what it is. So,
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I share with people all the time. Years ago, my outlet and my freedom was dance. It didn't matter where, I remember sneaking out of my mother's window. Mom, if you're watching, I don't think you remember this. Sneaking out her window because I just wanted to go dance. I just needed to be free because I needed to be able to, just keep my mind right. I was going through some things and I probably didn't know how to share it or knew where to go, but my freedom, what saved my life was the arts. It was dance. And it was so funny because years ago I found out that my mother, used to enjoy dancing back in the day, which I never knew. And I know I got that from her, but there are things that we do that people don't realize until they talk to you that it saves our lives. Whether it's an angel that's been sent into our pathway to say, hey, wait a minute, let me stop you there. God will do that. Or it's a gift that we do or we cultivate. Or, some people want to go on the side and sing. I used to just walk down some of the streets, in Palo Alto and just to be free because of certain things that I saw or experienced or dealt with. And so when you become older and you realize those angels or those gifting, you just begin to thank God because if not for those gifts, if not for those people, if not for those angels, where would we be?
Right.
What would happen? We would turn out different. And thank God we know who we are today, Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I love it. I love it. I want to, if you're just joining us here on the Triumphant Radio Show, I want you to tune in and just continue to share with your friends and family. We have our guest tonight, Jamarco Wimberly, powerful man of God. We're going to get a little bit deeper in just a moment. I want to say a special hello to Corette, Brenda, Chris, Ronisa, Sheila, Kelly, Joycelyn. Just hello. Thank you all for joining the show. Please pass and share. We love you. Thank you for being on this journey. Feel free to call in at 770-988-6461. If you have a question or a comment for myself or Minister Jamarco, we just have a lot to talk about. So we're just excited to be here today. And so right now we're just talking about who Jamarco is. Before anything else, who is this brother sitting right here to my right, your left? What's he all about?
To America. That's who I am.
So I'm loving it. And so the other part is that I'm just glad that, whatever seeds were planted in us with ministry or church or God, that they were able to be cultivated even when we didn't know it.
Right,
Even when we were, running the streets or whatever we were doing that may not have been right or sinful or, a life of iniquity, whatever it is. I thank God that people were praying for us, just, keeping that going. So that way, when we got to our senses, we could really understand how to pursue that relationship because of the prayers that our family, our parents, laid out for us. And I really like that. And so we're moving right along, Jamarco. And so you have been operating in certain positions of the spiritual world. And we've met on the stage and in the cast of one organization was the King of Glory.
Oh my God, I miss it.
Which we miss it. If anybody as part of the King of Glory, please bring that back at the
Please.
Atlanta Civic Center.
Mommy.
It was powerful, and we really began to build our relationship and ministry because we just had a depth for not only the Spirit of God, but the arts, and our mindsets at that time. And this was
Yes.
years ago. Was not performance.
Right.
It was like, how can we move and dance and reach people versus just being in front of someone and showing a gift or a skill at whatever level or capacity. And so, how did you get into ministry? How did that time come where you became minister, Jamarco? We'll start with that.
Okay, well, I accepted the call in 2003, and I would say out of all of the things that I've been through in life, even after 2003 was the year that really, where God really just processed me. It was in March of 2003 where I said, okay, God, yes, to the call of ministry.
Wow.
I've been actually hearing it, that I was going to be a minister, that I was going to be a preacher for a while. Even before then, I remember.
You said no?
Yeah, I said no. I ain't gonna say everything that I did say when they told me, but I'm saying, like, ain't nobody. I ain't preaching. What? No. No. Seriously, like my prom date, my senior prom date. I went to her house to pick her up for the prom. And I remember sitting at the table with her mom, and her mom sat across the table, and I sat right here. She sat directly across from me, and she said, "Young man, you're gonna preach."
Wow.
And I sat there and I looked at her and I wanted to say,
It's my prom night.
Like,
I don't
man,
wanna talk about
ain't nobody
preaching.
think about preaching. But it was 2003 when I actually accepted the call in the Lord.
Wow.
After I said yes, in March of 2003,
Wow.
the Lord sent me through a series of just process.
Wow.
And it was the hardest year that I could say of my life. I can remember just driving up and down the road just crying.
Wow.
Losing family members back to back. I mean, I went from the month of July all the way to December, a funeral every month. And these were
Wow.
people that helped raise me, my aunt, my uncle, my grandmother, and cousins, just so on. And I remember becoming so mad at God.
Right.
And I was like done, like just
Wow.
done. But it was even me telling him that I was done with him, and that I was done with this or whatnot, he still had a hold on me. He still
Right.
would not let me go.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
just gonna say, for all of you out there who's chasing after pastoralship or chasing to be in the ministry,
Come on.
that when you say yes, there's something that comes behind that yes.
Yes.
And so that's
Come
one thing
on.
that you have to realize, and I didn't realize it at that point.
Right.
And I'm not regretful for saying yes.
Yeah.
Everything that I've been through shaped who I am right now.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. But it was in 2003 when I said yes to the call of ministry. And of course, Jesus.
It's a lot.
It was a lot.
It's
It was
a lot. It's a lot.
Outside of all of the deaths that I experienced and just things that I experienced in my own personal home and in my personal life.
Right.
I mean, the Lord. It was just a process.
Right.
And so, when I said yes, I said okay. So I used to, like I said, at Powerful Truth. I was raised
Right.
up in Powerful Truth. At,
Awesome church.
Awesome church. That's where I received my salvation. That's where I received my deliverance. So shout out to Pastor Cuffy, Pastor
Yes.
Lockwood. I mean,
Yes.
if it had not
Great
been for
spiritual
them,
family.
but they the one that took me in, and
Right.
it wasn't just Marco, you are called to be this and you called to be that, and
Right.
regardless of all of the anger and the rage that I had inside of me, they really showed me the ministry of love.
Look at that. The
They
ministry of love.
really showed me the ministry of love.
Yes.
And can I just be blunt? They said, and just say that they really literally loved the hell out of me.
Yes.
Yes,
That's what we need.
They really
Yes.
did. I mean, seriously, because
Yes.
I had so much rage and so much anger inside
Right.
of me, so much bitterness and hurt
Yeah.
that where come on. And so I think that demonstration of love, right there is what helped me, move along and to continue to move forward in the ministry and be unshakable in faith.
Right, that's good. That's
unshakable
good.
in faith,
You know,
yes.
it's making me think that, and this is for if you have a call in the church or outside the church. There's a cost to every call. Whatever you choose and decide to do or embrace or say yes to, even reluctantly yes, or even happily yes, there's a cost to that. There's something, as you said, that follows that. And so many of us, we have calls or a call that we haven't answered due to fear, or we may think that there is not a surrounding of people or person to help love on us, like we said, remove that bitterness from us, and to help mold and shape us. And one thing I've learned is that there are ingredients that help build us to who we are now. So I ask you today, what's your ingredient? To everyone listening and watching, what are the ingredients in you that make you who you are today? And are there some ingredients in you that need to be changed so that you can change, so that you can truly embrace what you're called to do with purity, so God can really speak to you and you can hear without things jumbled or clustered in your spirit, your mind, your emotions, your building, how you're built. What is it? What's your ingredients? What are you built with? Because some ingredients don't last. Some ingredients, they wither away. Some ingredients melt away, but there's some ingredients that last a lifetime. They're built to last. They stay there. And as they stay there, they strengthen and they grow because it understands its purpose. And as a result, you're able to stand and walk in your purpose even when hell comes your way.
No,
yes.
No,
we always do this.
We do this.
Tag team.
Tag team, back again. The thing you're talking about, the ingredients, and the only thing that I'm hearing is, what is your testimony? Basically synonymous.
That's it.
What is your testimony? Because the thing of it is that some of us are ashamed of what we've dealt with, our process. We hate our process. We're regretful of our process and whatnot. But it's written in the Bible that they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony.
Right.
And so many of us with cause, quote unquote, think that it's your ability to dissect the scriptures and be able to articulate it very well in order to save another. But it's your testimony really that what really reaches. How can you relate to somebody else?
Right.
Because one of the things that I've learned too, that with the anger issues and all of the anger issues that I've had, I was able to connect and relate to other people that had the same that was dealing with the same situation.
Right.
Well, I remember one time on my job. This was several years ago. I was listening to one of the radio stations up here in Atlanta, and they always had the gospel song playing in the morning, a moment of gospel. And it was one of the songs that was playing, and I just literally right there went in worship, I mean, not frantically and all of that, but you could tell that I was having a moment. And so one of my coworkers that was sitting next to me, which was a Muslim, he sat there and he was in awe of, and they all know me. They knew me on my job as a person who loves the Lord. That loves the Lord. And he sat there and watched me in awe. And I remember him asking me a question, what is it that makes you cry when you're listening to these type of songs? Or what makes you just go in like that when you're listening to the Lord? And I said, and I was able to minister to him and just tell him, it's really basically all of the things that I know for myself, not anything that I know that I've heard what other people say about the Lord, but things that encounters that I've known for myself. That I've had with the Lord, situations that He's brought me out of that I know nobody else could have brought me out of. Just moments where I have realized the Lord's forgiveness when I should have been completely cut off. I've done some things, and He should have really literally turned His back on me, but yet He continues to show me love. And it was that moment. I don't even remember what the song was. But I know it was just a moment that I had. But to be able to have 10, 15 minutes to talk to a dude who is from a different faith.
Whole different faith.
From a different faith. And to share with him my experience and what makes me love the Lord so
Yeah.
much, and what makes me react to worship the way that I do.
Right.
That's
Powerful.
a testimony. That's a testimony. I didn't really have to share scripture with them.
Right.
I didn't really have to preach to them.
Come on.
I just related to them.
Relationship.
So, yeah.
That's it. What I love about testimony is that it causes us to make sure that God is relevant when we do ministry. See, so many of us want to make ourselves relevant,
Yeah.
but God has said, I put you in position so you can make me relevant, so you can highlight my name, so you can highlight my attributes, so you can highlight who I am, so that other people can be set free.
Exactly.
So once you are free and you can take off the mask and share your testimony, not only are you freeing yourself, but then you're showing the relevancy of God and who He is and how impactful He's been in your life, and nobody else matters. You don't have to worry about nobody, no thing. Matter of fact, you're going to forget some people and some stuff, because what's relevant in your life is not only how you can express how you overcame, but you express the greatness and the goodness of God.
Exactly.
That's why testimony is so important and it's so beautiful. And that's how we go from trials and trauma to triumphant living.
Yeah.
Come on, that's freedom right there.
Exactly.
Woo, that's freedom right there. Hey, Lamar, it is blessed to know that you are watching. We love you.
Hey, brother.
Stay connected. Thank you, Monica, for being on the call. I know Troy's with you. Thank you all so much. Y'all keep living the triumphant life. Again, if you are just tuning in, this is a Triumphant radio show here at 108 Praise Radio, where we're always voicing the gospel.
Amen.
We have an awesome guest tonight, Minister Jamarco Wimberly, and we're going to actually upgrade this just a little bit, and we're going to go into something a little bit deeper. We're going to take it to the next level. We've just heard a little bit about Jamarco's background and his life, and we've been talking about the royal wedding this weekend and about how this is our honeymoon week. I'm talking about you, all your listeners and viewers, single, married couples, everybody. It's our honeymoon week where we are to fall in love with God over again. We're to spend time with Him, and whatever our needs are or whatever we just need to do, we just fill our voids with God this week. That's our honeymoon. Honeymoons are sweet. Honeymoons seal the deal. Honeymoons validate the relationship.
Exactly.
So go into your honeymoon season. Get ready tonight, ladies, gentlemen, whatever it is. I'm talking about a honeymoon with God. I'm talking about spending time with Him. I'm talking about falling in love with Him over and over again. And from there, we've just been talking about how Jamarco has begun to develop and how he has developed in life and moving into ministry. And that's not all. There's more to this story. Am I right?
Yes.
There is more
So
to this
much more.
story. And, I want to go into something great. Jamarco has written a book. And if you have not seen this book on our Facebook pages, go take a look and check it out. But it's called
No Son Left Behind.
No Son Left Behind. No Son Left Behind. This is why having relationship, with God is so important. Because sometimes when you go through things, if you're not sure who you are, you identify with something or someone that's not really part of your destiny, or that's not really on the path the Lord was leading you to. And you have to kind of stop and reevaluate and maybe start over again. Now, I'm not saying that's a part of the book, but I just love just even talking about no one being left behind, because no matter what we go through as individuals or collective individuals, we don't want to be left behind. We want to keep moving with the move of God and live, fruitful lives and productive. And so if you can relate to what we're talking to, we want you to call in. We have got to get you to call in, because I know there are some of you out here that can relate to what we're talking about, our testimonies and having God be relevant versus you be relevant, and just the things that Jamarco has shared and myself. 770-988-6461. I'm not even going to take a break. I want to keep going because I want to make sure that we get to some more hot topics with Minister Jamarco tonight, and that we continue to speak into your lives. So you still have time to share here at 108 Praise Radio. Share it. Get your friends to like and follow. But let's go into this book a little bit. How did you get from where you have been in ministry? You've danced in different countries. You've choreographed. You know the arts just like you know the Word of God. How did the book come about?
Whew. Amen. How did the book come about? Well, I'll say it like this: the Lord is a amazingly funny to me. I say this, I tell him that all the time. Like, dude, are you serious? Are you serious? Because whoever thought I would write a book, I never in a million years would.
Trust me, my hands are up.
Man, come on, like.
No, thank you.
When they would tell me to, now I can be very transparent with this. When they tell me to read a book, I ask if it was on DVD. Now I'm just how serious.
Let me listen, not read.
But so seriously, how the Lord birthed this "No Son Left Behind, I Am My Brother's Keeper." That's the subtitle. He birthed this in 2000. He gave me the vision of coming into 2016, January 1st. I remember waking up at the beginning of that year, that dream, and from a dream where I kept hearing the Lord say in the dream to gather my sons.
Right.
And when I woke up that morning, I remember him saying, the only thing that I heard was "No son left behind." And so I thought that it was going to be like a blog or just a sermon or a series of workshops or classes that I was going to do.
Right.
So I just continued to just really just mellow on it and just listen and didn't do anything with it. But it was in that same year that I had congestive heart failure.
Yes. Come on.
And I was admitted into the hospital after having a heart episode.
Yes.
Diagnosed with congestive heart failure, and in the process of experiencing almost death, and coming back home to Georgia, and I had the opportunity to just sit down.
Yeah.
After I got off of my soapbox of being upset, because it just seems like it was at the time, but it seems like every effort that I made to move forward in my life, I kept getting pushed back.
Come on,
And
this has to minister to somebody. Come on now.
Every effort that I made in life, it just felt like I kept getting pushed back, and so it's just like I just could not progress. And so this situation that transpired with my heart, I felt like it really set me back.
Wow.
It really set me back. And so after I got off my soapbox from being upset, I remember just sitting on the porch and then just grabbing my sister's laptop while I was at home, and I just began to write. I just began to write. I took that topic, "No Son Left Behind," and just basically out of my experiences of being, a son in the ministry, what I feel or what the Lord was actually showing me or has shown me, what He has actually shown me, that. To just really just put it in a book.
Yeah.
Just put it in a book and really just basically help other people who are struggling with church hurt, struggling with hurt from leaders and shepherds, struggling with hurt from or disappointments from not so much leaders as not so much just leaders, but other people within the church. And so the book actually entails of how to walk in integrity and honor and accountability and all of that. So it takes the light and off of what somebody did to you, and turns the finger around and makes you look at yourself.
Come on, the mirror. We need a mirror right here.
You look at yourself.
We need mirrors. That's right.
Yeah, it makes you look at yourself, because even though you may be valid in why you feeling the way that you feel, they came out with a slogan years ago, "What would Jesus do?" Yeah. And I think that is so relevant even in this time, because even in situations that we get in, even with people or whatever the case may be, you may be right in what you feel. But how would Jesus respond? And that's that's the thing. How would Jesus respond? And so my goal is, or what I should aspire to be, is not like David in the Bible. He was a great character, or Paul, or any other Bible characters or whatnot. They was anointed, but they were flawed.
They were flawed.
Yes. My aspiration is to be like Jesus. I want His heart. And I remember crying out to Him even before the heart episode, that God, I need a new. I want a new testimony. I don't want the same testimony, because I've been saying it. I mean, even though it may be relevant for somebody and it may help somebody else, but there's something else that you want to do in my life. And I remember asking God, make me a miracle. Did not know what I was asking for. I was singing the song, God, make me a miracle. And it was a week later that I found myself in the hospital.
Come on.
For 2 weeks. Jesus.
Yeah, you scared all of us.
For
can
2
I
weeks.
say to death?
As a matter of fact, and they told me had I
Yeah.
not came to the hospital when I did, if I had gone home, that I would have died.
Right.
And so the Lord he just breathed upon it, and as I was sitting at home, he just began to minister. A lot of times we get frustrated by, we think that it's the enemy attacking us or just putting us in isolation or whatnot. But sometimes it's the Lord that does it.
That's right.
Ezekiel said, the Lord took me and placed me in the valley.
Right.
And so the Lord just took me out of something and just placed me to where I could be by myself and be with him and do this next project, what he was calling me to do.
Right.
And it's so funny because it's like in every season of my life, every stage that I've dealt with something traumatic, the Lord brought something out of me that I had no idea what was in me. Dance. We met at King of Book. I was going through so much in my life at that point.
Right. I remember the truck.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And it was you that came and you pulled out the dance even on stage.
Amen.
And stuff that I never thought that I'd be able to do.
Yeah.
So and acting and I just thought I was gonna have me an album when I was growing up, but that didn't come to pass. So, but it's just funny how relationship with the Lord, how you run after him, he will start bringing out things that you would never think was possible. Right. That was in you. And you'll be like, you'll question the Lord, like, really, God? Right. So, that's how the book came. It was birthed out of a near-death experience. Right.
That is powerful. And if you're just tuning in, we're listening to Jamarco Wimberly. He's my guest tonight here on the Triumphant Radio Show here at 108 Praise Radio. And we're hearing some awesome nuggets, not only that will bless me, but I hope that it's blessing you because, when we talk about no son left behind, that makes me think how we blame others for our situation. Mm-hmm. And, you talked about the mirror looking at ourselves when in actuality, we're able to turn the tables around and turn situations around. And I think that's where that word unconditional comes in. When we talk about love and this being a week of honeymoon, that we're falling in love again, that's unconditional. That's even with the flaws. Exactly. And I just love the fact that God, he never leaves us. He never forsakes us. His promises are yes and amen. And, he's ready to mold, shape, and give us a new testimony if we are free to allow him to do what he wants to do.
But the thing about having a new testimony is that you have to be, you have to acknowledge the process that you're going through. You have to acknowledge, okay, even if I'm flawed, then, because a lot of times we like, oh, I ain't dealing with that. That's pride, bruh.
Yeah.
That's pride. I need you to set that aside. I need you to come to grips that this is what I'm dealing with, and this, and it's going to take the Lord to bring me out of this. Right. And that's how you get to, from the point of going through their test or being in the middle of their test to a testimony. Because you could say that, oh, God brought me out of it, out of this, that, and the other. But if you refuse to, I'm not saying come in agreement with the things that you've gone through, but come in agreement with what the Lord is doing in your life. Right. To get to be able to get past the process, to get past the situation, so that it can become an effective testimony. Right. Not just words that you're babbling out of your mouth. Oh, I did this, or I went through this, that, and the other. And the Lord, no, but you're still bitter from it. Right. That's another thing. And that's another thing that the Lord brought out. Even after the heart episode, because the heart episode, dealing with the heart episode was one situation while I was in the hospital, and I got over that. Right. But that wasn't the hard part. No. It was the aftermath of it. Right. Going home, dealing with just being by myself. All of the expectations that I put in people where I served, that were people that I've helped in life, and where are you? Now that I ain't got insurance to pay for this life vest that I have to wear for 4 months. I don't have enough money. I racked up $100,000 in hospital bills. Come on, where's my help? I've helped people move. I've served in your ministry, and when you don't hear from people, just say, hey, how you doing? Right. Or whatnot. You can become bitter. Right. And so you deal with
those emotions.
Exactly.
Those emotions.
Exactly. And you move into a place of where I moved into a place to where I wanted to dishonor people that I used to honor. And the Lord sat me down. I remember hearing him clearly. How are you going to dishonor somebody or that, or even call somebody, or say that somebody's not honorable?
Right.
That's not your job. They served their purpose for that season. They did what they were supposed to do in your season. And so that's like one of the first nuggets in the book is how to honor somebody, how to continue to respect and hold somebody at value, even when they you are disappointed about them, disappointed with them. You have to move past that.
That's right. That's right.
If people come into your life, people come and people go. Right. But don't say that they didn't serve their purpose with you when they helped you in the season that they did.
You still sat at their table. You still got something to eat. And you got your bags and kept going. You got something.
Exactly.
So honor is king.
And so you just have to continue to move with the shift of the Lord.
With the shift.
You got to continue to move with the shift and not get stuck in the season to think that, okay, my blessing or my comfort is supposed to come from this channel. No, God sat me down because I want this to be about me and you and not nobody else.
That's right. Even as Minister Jamarco is talking, and we're going to get to the mantle in a second, I just hearing God say some of us need to change our language. Mm-hmm. Even as we change our language, those of you that have a heavenly language, your prayer language is going to change from your heavenly language to just how you pray and relate to God. The minute you decide during your honeymoon this week to change your language, how you talk, how you speak, what you say, how you can transform your thinking so what comes out of your mouth is something you've never said before, hopefully, which is fruitful. God is going to be able to make some changes in your life.
I just hear that your intimacy is about to increase.
The intimacy is about to increase because you're changing how you view things. You're changing what comes out of your mouth. I believe God wants to break down some divisions, some barriers, and some walls with some people that have held on to things for years, and you've moved on in the flesh, but in the spirit, it's still there. And God said, this week on your honeymoon week, let's handle this. Let's get this together. Let's get this done. Let's get this squashed. Let's take care of it. Right. So that way God can say, just like he told Minister Jamarco, make me a miracle. Make you a miracle. God will make you a miracle. Are you willing to be a miracle for somebody? Are you willing to sacrifice, separate yourself, go through something, endure, and still honor in the process, before the process, after the process, so the miracle can be seen in you. We talk about, we're going to go to or be in a church or be there where there's miracle signs and wonders. God, we call forth the miracle signs and wonders. Guess what? You're a miracle, but you're holding on so much because you're probably not releasing your testimony, or you're probably just holding on to things of the past or things in the spirit that are locked up and held up, or you're not willing to be set aside, isolated for a minute to go through that process of what, why, and who, and you're not willing to get those new ingredients to build you back up again. And so that's why sometimes we don't see the miracles in the church, which is why a lot of people don't really believe in it, because the active demonstration is not as evident as it's supposed to be, when in actuality, it's those of us that are called to do kingdom purpose, but we're too busy holding on to what we don't want to say in that testimony because we want to keep doing what we can do because we being highlighted and we making ourselves relevant versus making God relevant in our ministry. And so we just plugging up our own destiny when we think we're going somewhere and we're not. Come on, somebody.
Exactly.
I mean,
Oh my God. One of the things I heard while you was talking is that a lot of people, when they hear miracle, they would like something tragic has to happen to them or whatever the case may be. But one of the things I heard while you was talking is that your forgiveness is going to be a miracle. Your ability to forgive. And so a lot of people are in situations now where they cannot let go of something that has happened, to them, with them, whatever the case may be. Yeah. And you have to learn to forgive. And that was one of my struggles. Like when you mess over me, bro, I cut you off. And and think nothing else of it. But yeah, it was hard to let go of that. But I heard a wise man tell me before that when you walk in unforgiveness, then that's a part of your soul that's not worshiping God.
Look at that.
It's a part of your soul
Right.
that's not worshiping God. If the Bible says that the Lord desires or wish above all things that we prosper and be in good health, even
Right.
as our soul
Soul
prospers,
prospers.
then if your soul is clogged up with unforgiveness,
Right.
then everything else in your life cannot prosper because your soul is not prospering because of that one thing.
That one thing. Yeah, that's good.
Because of that one thing. And so that's one of the things, another one of the things that I deal with in the book is because is forgiveness, reconciliation.
Right. Beautiful.
We deal with in ministry a whole lot of prophecy, building up of the
Right.
kingdom, coming into salvation, this, that, and the other.
Right.
But when it comes down to dealing with church hurt and just dealing with hurt, period,
Right.
how do you reconcile from that?
Right.
How do you forgive and move on from that stage
Right.
or whatnot? Because it's really taking you blocking the blessing, your own blessing, when
That's
you
right.
walk in unforgiveness and you really don't realize it. You think that you're holding another person and keeping them right here or whatnot, and they
Right.
may not even know that they did you wrong.
Come on
They
now.
may not even know
Come
that
on
you did
now.
that you did that,
That's
that you
good.
did them wrong or that
That's
they
good.
did you wrong.
Right.
But your ability to take it to the Lord and say
Right.
that I'm dealing with this situation, I need to learn how to let it go, and I need your
Right.
help. That's the only way that Jesus said, Lord, you forgive them.
Right.
He
That's
said,
right.
you forgive them, for they know not what
What
they
they
He
do.
had to
Yeah.
ask for help for forgiveness. So for you to say that you can forgive in your own strength, bro, you'll never make it.
Right, right. That is so true, and it just makes me think about how many people use hurt or leadership hurt or church hurt or whatever to justify
Yes.
their behavior or to
Yeah.
justify their relationship with certain groups or people or God or just their life. And God is saying, just let it all go. Let it all go. I'm the one that's supposed to be relevant in your life, not those situations. Let's knock those situations to the side and let's focus
Exactly.
on me. I want to give you the glory. I want to give you the joy. I want to give you the wisdom, God is saying, for you to live a life and a life abundantly. And so I love this book. When does it come out?
Well, I'm projecting it for it to come out on June 1st. It's going through the final stages
Awesome.
of publishing right now. So June 1st, it should be out prayerfully. So bless the Lord for that. So yeah, it'll be available on Amazon, Create Space, and Kindle as well. So.
Yes, and we'll definitely be advertising that for you at Sharita Lovelace Ministries. So make sure you like and follow my page, Sharita Lovelace Ministries, and also Jamarco Wimberly Facebook page. And I love this question, Lamar. He says, how do relationships challenge and test your love?
Jesus.
They do.
How do-
Relationships, that's the answer. They do challenge.
I mean,
and
how
test
do
your love.
relationships? Just the things
love
that you
it.
go, just the things that you go through. It
Yeah.
challenges you to a point. Each individual have to come to a place to where you have to allow the Lord to deal with them.
Right.
And how the different challenges that arise in relationships or whatnot. You have to be able to confront them.
That's good.
You have to be able
like
to
that.
confront them in love. And one of the things that I have actually realized too, with certain challenges when it comes down to relationships, and not just relationships, period,
Right.
but they allow things to build up. Certain things happen, and you just blow it off of your shoulder. No,
Right.
deal with it. If you
Right.
don't go, the Bible says, don't let the sun go down in your wrath. And so
Right.
we wait to the last minute to actually deal with situations, and then it blows up out of proportion.
Right.
It blows out of proportion. And so, and then you
That's
say
good right there.
things, you say things that you really don't mean. You say things or you do things that's really not in the character of God. That's
Right.
really not in the character of God, out of your flesh. And so you really have to deal with things while they're, while they're there.
Right. That's awesome. Lamar, thank you for that question. And again, you still have a few more minutes, anyone, to call for a comment or a question at 770-988-6461. We would love to hear a question or a comment before we go off the air. So go ahead and call in. Again, that number is 770-988-6461. Hey, I want to give a shout out to some more people. Again, Lamar, Julia Harden, Tisha, Tiffany, Eagle Leslie, Tisha, Jay Danielle, Claire, Deontay, Terkeisha. Thank you all so much for watching the show. I want to remind everybody to tune in every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're not done yet. We're almost done. But I wanted to share this word passion. And, we're familiar with passion, not only because of our ministry, but just because we are genuinely, and I have to say we, as my brother, genuinely passionate about what we do.
Exactly.
We love helping, equipping, developing, training, learning, knowing that we're flawed too, and we still have growth to do. And so the energy that you sense from us in so many ways is because we're so passionate about it. Sometimes we can't contain it.
Right.
But I just want to send that fire into your life. If this is a honeymoon week, I just call this a honeymoon week. It is for you to fall in love again. And if you catch the fire, come on, Pentecostals yesterday, of the Holy Spirit, and you begin to just get deeper into learning who God is, more about his attributes, and learning more about how that relates to you and how you're made, and how you do and say what you do and say, you will gain a deeper, not only passion, but a fire. That fire is not only going to propel you to higher heights, further, it's going to help you to stand, but it's also going to burn away some things that's not a part of who's supposed to be in you.
Right.
Ingredients, we talked about ingredients, it's going to burn things away. And that's the beauty about being in love and in relationship with God. When you think you're about to go over the edge over a situation, that fire begins to burn in you, and you're reminded to walk in that love of God.
The love of God, covenant with
that
God.
Covenant,
with God,
that passion,
yes.
But I want to share this one thing too. We both have been, ordained in ministry at different levels, and you are ordained as a prophet. So this is actually Prophet Jamarco, which we know. And so I did want you to journey with me from just Jay to J. Marco to J. Marco Wimberly to minister to prophet. It's been how many years now?
As a prophet, 2 years now.
2 years now.
Yes.
And so, however, the call and
Was always
the
there.
Activity has been going on for years,
For
as
years,
we talk
yeah.
about. And so in your book, do you share anything about this particular mantle, this walk,
Really, as it relates to the gifts and calling, no, I really don't, because I really want to focus on, and this is not to discredit the fivefold ministry,
Right.
because what I found is that a lot of people in church today are hungry for titles. And so I really wanted to focus on, in the book, the character of being a son.
Right.
He said that in Romans that the earth is groaning for sons, the
Right.
sons of God, not the fivefold ministry. It was the
Come
sons
on,
of God
the
that
sons.
the earth is crying for. And so you have a lot of people that are in the fivefold ministry, in offices or what, in different offices,
Right.
that don't know anything about sonship. They don't know how to walk in integrity. They don't know
Right.
how to be accountable. They don't know how to submit. They don't know
Right.
how to forgive. And that's a problem.
Right.
And that's a problem. When I go before the Lord, I don't want to go before the Lord with my title. I want to
Right.
go before the Lord as a son.
Come on. That's
the
it.
24 elders, they threw off their crowns around the
on.
throne of God,
Yes.
because they laid down their position. So it has,
Right.
the book really want to focus on, and I applaud you for your accomplishments, your titles, and this, that, and the other. But underneath all of that, are you walking in the
Right.
spirit of sonship?
Right.
And so, are you walking in covenant? And not only that, are people able to see the Jesus in you? Not how
Right.
you articulate the word or
Right.
any of that, but the character of God, the DNA
Right.
of God, not your ability to prophesy. Because if you prophesy and go and have different mysteries and able
Right.
to reveal different mysteries, but do
Right.
not show love, then
Right.
you're irrelevant.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, that's what I want to focus on. I mean, not to discredit, like I said, not to discredit anybody's accomplishments,
Right.
or the fivefold ministry,
Right.
because they
'Cause we
are
walk in that,
needed.
right.
Yeah, there are needed. They're needed in the earth, but I think it's more importantly that we focus on being sons
Right.
first,
Right.
and then move forward into those callings if that's what the Lord is calling you to be.
Right. And that's so important to me because I feel like at the end of the day, if you never had that title or that mantle or that cloak or whatever, can you still do what you say you are supposed to do? Can
Because
you
you're a
still
son.
because you're a son. Can you still do and say because you were called to do that particular thing? That's the key right there.
Exactly.
Just be who you are supposed to be. That's
Just be
it.
you.
Amen.
Amen.
Wow. Wow, what a great show. Thank you to my brother Jamarco
Thank
Wimberly
you.
for the show. We are about to wrap up. Hey, we want to just thank you for joining in the Triumphant Radio Show tonight. We are running out of time, but will you come back?
I will.
Yes, we're going to bring Prophet Jamarco back and we're going to add to him again. But we thank you for joining the call tonight. The show tonight, please, again, every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join me here at the Triumphant Radio Show where we're always voicing the gospel. I am your host, Sharita Lovelace. I hope you have a blessed night tonight. Don't forget to start your honeymoon tonight with the Lord. And remember, don't just sleep. I want you to dream.
Amen.
God bless you. We'll see you next week.